Remake Learning Days are a chance for students, families, all stakeholders to come together and participate in activities either during the school day or after the school day that really showcase STEM and STEAM learning.
Remake Days is kind of almost a way to build a case for the new type of learning that might be different than what us as adults have experienced. And like when you talk about that type of learning, it's hard to verbalize that. But when you see it, that tells a completely different story than what you're trying to tell somebody. So to bring people in to see it, I think really helps build that case for this is the type of learning that's going to help our students in the future. Picking a date, right? Once you have that date, I know there's a window, but once you have that date, it's real, right? It is real.
You have to be mindful of other things that are going on in the district and community when you're picking the date for Remake Learning Night.
We were very thoughtful about, we have workers that are shift workers or that that aren't maybe working a traditional 9 to 5. And so we wanted to have a large enough window where maybe you only have 15, 20 minutes to show up. But it's 15, 20 minutes is enough time to come and see and get through and get to where you need to be because that's where you need to be. It's easy to say that the audience is the parent or the community, but I think what made our event successful is we really spent a lot of time thinking about the student as the audience.
Our world is growing and we are expanding cultural borders, and it's important to see all students being represented, regardless of their religious beliefs, regardless of how they self-identify. It's really important to hear all student voices and making sure that they feel like they have a place in our school.
When you think about it from the kids' perspective and them being the leader, it becomes a creative experience for them, which is a very different way to approach an event than just a traditional open house.
Teachers' brains are like a million different tabs open on a computer, and sometimes we just need to hone it in. So having a theme gives you that chance to really focus on what you want your Remake Learning event or any event to look like.
Think of all the learning that happens in a building. Focusing on STEAM made it possible. Having that narrowed focus in, it definitely made the planning easier and more maintainable, sustainable to be able to actually make it happen.
I welcome student opinion. I see them really take ownership of the theme because then they start coming up with ideas and then they bounce them off me, and it's funny to see themselves self-regulate. Like, oh, maybe that won't work, but can we try it anyway? So it's that trial and error, it's that taking a risk, and it's a safe space for them to do it in as well.
We put it out to everyone, this is what the theme is. If you have something that you've already done or that you're planning to do that will fit this theme, like we want to showcase everyone's work, not just these, targeted activities.
One, it made the event better because we had more, and two, in a sense as well, it lightened the burden a little bit of some of the things off of our shoulders that we didn't feel like we had to do everything ourselves. I'm thinking about all the different ways that we can connect with parents. We have a mass email system that we use for things, and we send out information that way. We have the Seesaw app, which connects directly to parents.
We did send home paper copies of a little photo and tag of what we were working on so that they knew a couple of sneak peeks of what they might see.
Whether it is a digital platform like Class Dojo or a class tag, whether it's just a flyer sent home or an all-call system wherever there's a pre-recorded message that gets sent out, knowing where your population is and the best way to inform them of the event.
We did use social media to connect to families through Instagram and Facebook.
So an important step is to make sure that you invite people to be part of the planning process, part of the creation process before the event actually happens.
And be open with yourself about what you need. We didn't have time ourselves running the program to hang 1,000 pieces of art. That wasn't going to happen. So, you have to think smart about how to accomplish all the tasks that need to get done right before the event.
You have to worry about, is the room or space going to be available? If we are going to serve food, and if it's in a school, is the cafeteria able to stay after? Are there any other events going on that night? And making sure that your parents can come too, because we do have a lot of working parents and we want to make sure that we include them in this. So logistics, just going through from A to Z and figuring out what works best for your population. The day of the event, prepare for some things to go wrong, because they will, and that's okay, because there is beauty in chaos.
When you think about people coming into your building, is you want to be more than just inviting, you want to be welcoming. So you want, when people first walk into your event, you want to make them feel like they're part of what you're doing.
I had, for the Sphero Carnival, a ringleader, a student ringleader who had a top hat, and as families were coming in, he was stepped right up and he was really welcoming and engaging, and he would point them to different centers, and whenever they got there, the student volunteers would explain what they were going to be doing.
Taking time to reflect upon what that process was, that's a good piece of feedback for yourself as well for planning in future events. Because your event never goes the way that you planned.
Right.
It never
there
goes.
are always unforeseen things.
Yeah.
And just taking a step back to really enjoy what's happening, making sure that you have that timeline and that checklist, going over it beforehand, because we're human and we miss things. If you're incorporating student volunteers, student workers, make sure that they are prepped and that they feel comfortable, and making sure that your space is set up and any issues that you can take care of, you do. Or if your custodial staff is there, please include them in the process too, because they know how the rooms in the building work.
One of the things that's really important to do with a Remake Day is to get feedback.
Paper feedback for me works particularly well just because I can look at it in real time.
I had one perception of it, but they were telling me, well, if you did it this way, like you may have had more people come back into this hallway, or I was really excited to see this part of the event happening. So getting that feedback, I think, is extremely important.
And get that student feedback as well, because students are brutally honest, even whenever we don't want them to be, but they have really constructive criticism about the things that went well, some things that they should change later on. And having student photographers are also really great, because our students are on their phone a good majority of the time. So now that they actually have a purpose to take pictures, they're in all types of angles and want to edit and filter and put puppy dog faces on there. But it's really awesome seeing them engaged in that too.
We had unexpected attendance, and it was a big draw, and that was really great, and we weren't expecting it, so there was some celebration that needed to occur.
Kind of like a cast party, like this is the end of your hard work, you guys have been amazing, and this is my way of saying thanks.
To your parents, to your community members, to your kids, to your custodial staff, to your administrators, to the other teachers, you name it. Like, there was not one person in this building that didn't have something to do with that. And being thoughtful about saying thank you to that is super important. Yeah.
We do this for the students. We do this for our families. I think it's really important to showcase beyond the school day.
The learning that happens in today's schools, it's so different than what I experienced as an adult, and it's so important to share that with the world.
I had a parent volunteer in the room with me during the event, and she was kind of trying to ground me, look at this. Look at what's going on in here right now. And it was really nice to take a step back for a moment and say, wow, look at all these people. Look at these kids excited to show their parents what they're doing.
If you just do work and no one ever sees the work you've done, I don't care what it is that you're doing. I don't care if it's your job, if it's the work you do. If no one ever sees the things that you do, why do it, right? You want to share that. You need to have an audience, and Remake Days provides that audience for people.